Harry, good to see you. Thank you so much for your time. First of all, how are you?
Yeah, I'm all good. It's been obviously a difficult week for us all. We went into the game full of confidence in the derby, and we know it's a big game for our fans and everyone around and everyone associated with the club. So it's been a difficult week, but listen, it's the start of the season. We're going to have many more big games to come, and we're looking forward to the season.
First of all, though, first impressions of this place, because you've had a couple of weeks to settle into this new refurbished training ground. How's it been?
Yeah, it's a lot better. There's no question about that. I think everything about it is a lot better. The homely feeling, the comfort around the place. There's a lot more light down there as well. So no, it's a lot better. There's no excuse in terms of the training facilities now. The people have done an amazing job, and we've got everything we need to be successful.
We've got to talk about what's behind you, because you recently surpassed 250 appearances for Manchester United. Congratulations. What a proud moment was that for you? Yeah,
obviously it's an amazing moment. Really proud, really privileged every time I step onto the pitch for this club. It's a huge club, it's a huge honour. So to do it 250 times is special. From a young lad from Sheffield, growing up, I'm sure I wouldn't have imagined that. So it's a special moment, and hopefully many more to come.
Did you imagine when you first joined this club that you would be reaching such a big milestone?
I never had anything in mind or target. I just wanted to play every game as I could. But yeah, I think 250 games is special. I think I've been here, this is my 7th season now, so I've done it in quite a short space. So yeah, I'm really pleased and privileged to have the opportunity to do that. But like I say, it's looking forward to the future now and trying to get this club back winning games more consistently, and that's our main focus.
How do you sort of figure out that you're close to 250? Does someone sort of keep telling you when you're reaching those milestones, or do you have it in the back of your mind, I'm very close to getting that?
Yeah, I think someone mentioned it a few weeks ago that I was only 2 or 3 games away. So then obviously you are counting down the games to you reach that milestone. Like I say, it's a real special moment to play for this club. So to play 250 games is a huge honour. I see it as the best club in the world. So I'm really lucky. And yeah, now it's like I say, it's focused on the future and trying to improve this club to where it is at the moment.
You mentioned obviously you've been here a long time now. So when you first joined back in 2019, the player that you were then to the player that you are now, how do you think that you've developed or changed?
Yeah, I think mentally I'm a lot stronger now. I've been through so much at the club at the time. I've got a lot more experience, obviously, playing in big games and big tournaments and finals and things. But yeah, of course, I'm older than I was there. I was 26, 25 then, so I'm 32 years old now. So physically, I might not be as strong as what I was when I was 25, 26, but I still feel really good, in a real good place, physically and mentally. But yeah, obviously a lot more experience, which does help when you come to a club like Manchester United.
And of course, reaching this 250 appearance milestone, you're up there with a list of Manchester United greats as well. So do you feel honoured to be part of that list, and the fact that you've been here for so long, you sort of writing your name in the Manchester United history books?
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, it's a huge honour to play for this club. It's an absolute massive club with a huge history. So to see your names alongside some of the players that have played and made 250 games is obviously fantastic. But yeah, of course, it's a massive privilege to play here.
Now, of course, with that comes the experience, and I know something that Ruben Amorim has brought into the club is this leadership team. So just talk to me a little bit about that and how you as a leadership as players work together.
Yeah, I think it's just something in between where some of the players can come to us and we can take it to the manager. I think it just takes a little bit off Bruno all the time, having the players having to speak to Bruno, and where the in-between guys. I think it's not really as big as what it's been made out in the outside. If I'm being honest, it's just something that the manager thought could help, but it doesn't mean that the boys who aren't in the leadership group aren't leaders or part of the way that the club wants to take this club forward. So listen, it's a little group. It's not huge, but it's there for the team to hopefully help us a little bit and give us that extra 1% to push forward and to take this club where it should be.
Have you had that before in previous teams? Do you find that useful, that when you know that there is, perhaps for players, younger players especially, that they don't have to always go to the coaching staff, that they can go to players and that are in a similar situation as them?
Yeah, definitely. We had it a few years ago under Ollie. when I was captain, we had a leadership group then. And I think at Leicester as well, we had it as well. So I'm sure there's so many teams what do the leadership group. I think it does take a little bit of pressure off the captain as not been nagged every day and about little things, and they can go to other people and speak. But it's also about improving the atmosphere in the place and making sure those five are responsible for that. And at this club that when you win games, you can be lauded as an amazing team, and then as soon as you lose a game, there's a crisis. So you've got to remain so level-headed, and I think those players who's been selected have got a big important job in make sure that the team do that.
Does that mean you're also in charge of giving out the fines?
Yeah, actually we are. Bruno takes control mainly, but I think Tom Eaton's in charge of it as well. But yeah, we have got a fine list.
Oh really? Do they enjoy that a little bit?
Yeah, they do. They love fining players.
No, there's obviously lots of new faces as well that come into the team. Younger players as well. And I know Manchester United are a club that really try and nurture their youth team as well. So in terms of having that experience, do you like to take players under your wing a little bit and just make them feel as comfortable as possible? Yeah,
definitely. I think at this club you have a role and responsibility when you're an older player to look after the younger ones. I think it's so tough coming into the club when you're a young player. At any club it is. I can remember when I was a young boy, 17, playing in League One, and it was really tough, but I had great senior players looking after me. So I think that's so important for the senior lads to do that. This club has a great history of bringing through young players. It's part and parcel of playing for this club. We bring through players from the Manchester area, and it's so important that we allow and enable and make them feel comfortable in our environment to perform at the highest level, because at the end of the day we want to be successful, and if they're good enough to play here, they're old enough as well.
One of the big names that joined the club, Benjamin Šeško, this season. What have you made of him so far? How's he been settling in, and how good could he potentially be for Manchester United?
Yeah, I think he's going to be an excellent player for the club. He's still young, he's really young. I'm sure he's probably finding a lot of pressure on his shoulders already, because that's what happens when you play for this club. But I think everyone needs to realise he's a young player. He might take time to find his feet, but he's got all the attributes, the physicality, the mentality to be a success at this club. And I've been really impressed with him in training. His finishing is excellent, and I believe he's going to score goals for this club for many years.
And another player that I'm sure we're due to see in the future, Senna Lammens, the new goalkeeper. What have you seen of him so far, and how much potential does he have as well?
Yeah, another player, I must say, I've been so impressed with him in training. I think he has all the fundamentals to be really, really top-class goalkeeper. He's great with his feet, he's a big presence, he's a really good shot stopper. I think he's got all the fundamentals to be excellent. So, listen, again, he's another young boy. He's coming to such a big club with lots of pressure, but I know he'll deal with it, and I'm sure he's going to have a long future at this club.
Transfer window obviously ended now, but when that's open, do you keep a close eye on that? Do you get excited for new players to come into and join the team and you to play with them as well? Yeah, definitely. I've always said since I've been at this club, the more players coming in, the better. I just want this club to be successful. So if any player is going to come in and help us, that's so important. So yeah, more competition for places, make training a better standard. So important that this club keeps recruiting the top players, and I think this summer they've done an excellent job, and I think it's going to show this season, and we just need to now kick on and start with that. You mentioned before when we sat down about the Manchester derby. You've played in a fair few yourself, so just talk us through your reaction after that Manchester derby, the most recent one, and what perhaps was missing from that performance. Well, I think it was disappointing, I must say, to lose the game. We went into the game full of confidence. And if I'm being honest, box to box, the game was pretty even. There was nothing in the game box to box. There was a lot more clinical in our box, and we didn't defend our box well enough. So that was the difference. I don't think anyone can watch the game, analyse it. I know it's easy to say after the game we've been beat 3-0, but they were so clinical. With the first chance of the game, the first time they probably went in our box, and Phil scores a great header. These games are decided on moments, and they definitely took the moments a lot better than us. And in the end, they ran out deserved winners. And football is won in both boxes. And I think
far too many times in the recent months we've not been good enough in both boxes. So it's something that we do need to work on. But like I said, I think box to box it was a pretty even game. We probably both had similar control of the game. We probably had similar entries into the final third and all the stats what people want to pull out. But like I said, both boxes they was better than us.
4 games into the season now, how do you reflect on the start?
Yeah, it's not been good enough results-wise. We know that. I think performance-wise, we probably should have had more points. Obviously, the Arsenal game, we probably deserved points in that game, and then we missed a penalty in the Fulham game, which was a big deciding moment. But listen, we can't look back. Those games are gone. There's still so many points to play for. I think the performances have been better than they was last season. But you've got to get results. When you play for this club, you've got to get results. And 4 points from 4 games is nowhere near good enough. So we've got to work harder, improve. And like I said, I think improving our performance in both boxes is something that we need to, because football's becoming a game where it's such decided on moments now, set plays, big moments in games. And at the moment, we're just not doing that well enough.
When you say that the performances seem to have improved from last season, where do you see the improvements this season?
I think there's definitely more control in games. I think in the first 4 games that we've played in, I think, like I say, I keep saying it, from box to box, I think we've had control of the majority of the games. Burnley, we should have been out of sight, really. Fulham game, we could have had a couple of goals lead. And then the Arsenal game, everyone's seen the Arsenal game, they beat us on a set play, but we know how excellent they are at that. So it's another thing that we just need to do better. We need to improve these fine margins to turn these results into, to turn the performances into results. But of course, it's 4 points from 4 games, and we know it's nowhere near good enough for this club. So we've got to get better, and I'm sure we will. Is
that perhaps where the frustration is, that when you're looking at some of the stats, the attacking stats, taking more shots, things look like they're going in a positive direction, but they're being overshadowed by the goals that have been let in? Yeah, definitely. I think the stats in all football's so big on stats now. I mean, everyone looks at the stats every game, and if you look at our stats over the first 4 games, they are actually promising stats. But then you look at the league table, and it's not good enough. So we know that we're improving, we're on the right track. But of course, this club demands winning football matches, and when you don't win football matches, people start to question you, and that's what's happening at the moment. We've been here, we've been there before, and we've got to make sure that we maintain strong mentally and come out fighting and make sure we keep improving, and the results will change. What do you say to the people that are perhaps questioning the formation or the tactics or the personnel in certain positions? Yeah, I think the formation's an easy one just to go at. I think it's because we're playing something a little bit different to everybody else. For me, it's just become a bit of an easy one to go at when the results don't work. The formation's been fine. Like I said, box to box, we've been pretty comfortable in every game, and tactically we've been comfortable in every game. It's got to be down to the players. The players have got to take the moments. They've got to make the difference in those moments, whether it's a set play or whether it's in a transition or a counter attack, a 3v3, and you've got to make the correct decision. I think this season, the first 4 games, we just haven't done them moments well enough. And like I said, we haven't defended our box well enough in the big moments. And every time the opposing team seems to come near the box, it ends up in the back of the net, which is something that we need to work on. But I think the formation is just an easy one just to dig out, because we've not been winning football matches, and I think it's a little bit different to how everyone else is playing. But the formation is the formation. It's not a set formation. Everyone says 3-5. We play a 4 a lot of the time in the game. I mean, if you stop and start the game and the phases of play, we're a back 4 in a lot of the game, and we always have been since the manager's come in. So I think it is an easy one just to say and dig out, but it's down to the players to execute. And if you're a good player, you can play in any formation. And how has the manager Ruben Amorim been during the start of the season? Of course, when you work for Manchester United, of course, there's going to be a lot of analysis on the games. But for him as a personality in the dressing room as well, and as a manager, what's he been like so far? Yeah, I think overall, I think he'll be really frustrated. Of course he will. That's one thing I've noticed with him. He's a real winner.
and he's used to winning in his managerial career. So since he's come here, he will be the first to say he hasn't won enough football matches and us players haven't won enough games. So we're all disappointed on that aspect. But he's been really good, really positive. I can't speak highly enough of him. I think he's an excellent manager and we're all right behind him. But like I said, it's down to us players who's got to take the responsibility as well. It always leans onto the manager, but it's got to be us who take the responsibility. We're the ones who step over that white line. And tactically, like I said, box to box, we've been set up well. We've had control of the 4 games that we've played in. But ultimately, the results haven't been good enough. And we all know what happens when that happens at Manchester United. The pressure comes onto the manager and to the players as well. But we've got to take responsibility on that. Finally,
Chelsea up next. How much are you looking forward to potentially having a bounce back after that derby defeat?
Yeah, it's an excellent game to play in. It's one that I've always enjoyed playing in since I've been at this club. 2 great clubs. We know they're a good team. They've just obviously had a great summer in the Club World Cup, so they're a fantastic team with a brilliant manager. So I think it's going to be a tough game. But listen, we've got to look at ourselves, like you say. It's about bouncing back and coming off the back of the defeat of the Manchester derby. We need to show real hunger and spirit and togetherness. And we know our fans are going to be right behind us at Old Trafford on Saturday, and we've got to give them something to cheer about.
Harry, thank you so much for your time. Good luck tomorrow.
Thank you very much. Thank you.